I must have hit the mute button by mistake.
We are
Oh,
on brand.
We are super on brand. This is
Simon.
the best.
Oh man.
The mute key is right next to my enter key. That's why it's doing that.
You need to change that key binding, my friend.
Yeah, but I need to change it to something that I'm not gonna use often. And I must have hit the mute button by mistake. See, now I can hear myself. So let's just go and recap the last episode, and then we'll reintroduce our guest later on when the character comes into play. So, Deirdre, why don't you go ahead?
All right. Well, we managed to get ourselves off of Lakshay without causing any further incident, although apparently Doxy and our dear captain required extra information that apparently our captain requested Doxy to retrieve some extra information. Doxy managed to acquire the attention of one Miss Rosemary, the archivist at the National Archive on Lakshay 1, who promised to meet us at Paradise 1 in rather amorous attention presented to Doxy, one would say. We retreated back to the ship where we were managed to do so, although followed by some very poorly done spies. Eddard attempted to spoogle, I believe he called it himself, to find out all of the information that we acquired on him, where he discovered that all this information. Apparently he found some sort of, conspiracy theorist site about how the General Song Wukong didn't actually die in his heart attack or, the ambulance crash in the middle of the desert. I don't believe that for a moment. It's quite obvious that all of that footage is very bad. I just don't believe any of that. We also, apparently, Zendak went through some of the information with Doxy, or at least I'm assuming that they did, because as I get off this ship on this resort planet, I have a communique from someone talking about all of this information about illegal experimentations on Rothians and super soldier projects on Lakshay that's apparently got sent to everyone on Galaxy, and really, who else would do that? Doxy. We know that I and Zredrick performed some minor medical experimentation on the dehydrated individual in the Force hamster ball that was located in our quarantine bed, and managed to reconstitute them into a humanoid figure, well, a human, actually, female, calls herself Whitney, temporally displaced, unfortunately, and suffering from some major loss of memory, probably caused by massive frontal lobe damage when they were, disintegrated. The fact that she remembers her names at all is a major positive. We've also ensured that now Doxy and Eddard are aware that Judrick is a Rothian. It was quite entertaining. I enjoyed myself.
Best
It was
prank
entertaining at my expense.
Hey,
Well-
I also got pranked.
I think the
enjoyed
prank
both
against Eddie was, or not Eddie, Doxy was just like the best.
Well, that's your personal opinion, Captain. That's a personal opinion. Apparently, as we approached Paradise 1, we discovered that one Miss Finns Fisterberg is opening a new establishment on the planet. The captain has gone off for a legal meeting, being able to see down this beach to the individual that he's going to meet, or at least her leg. One can say I'm very intrigued with the definition of legal that he's going to employ in this one.
You can't spell
Doxy-
legal without spelling leg.
Oh.
Doxy went off to join Miss Rosemary at the Tiki Bar. Eddard offered me a drink or six, and Dred and I offered to introduce him to Miss Fisterberg, who is apparently standing nearby with an attempt to give away free things. Doxy did manage to create an illegal, well, entirely legal alternate identification for our dear Commander, Edmund Fitzroy.
The world. Universe.
I believe that's everything.
That is everything. And before we jump back into our adventure, we were gifted a bunch of subs, which means that the Wheel of Fate is going to be spinning on our group right before we start the game. And so spin the wheel and we'll see what comes out.
Come on, we need big money.
It's a rest. All of you can, over the course of today, whenever you need to, call upon a short rest. Burn your hit dice if need be. And for the spellcasters among yourselves, you can also regain one previously casted spell. Or one previously used gadget.
What about me?
One previously used action. Which is the same in your case as a short rest. So we're going to go back to Paradise 1. On the pier, Zendak is leaving to go meet with Spider. Doxy is going to meet with his date. Yep, as it were. And everybody else is, well, looking out at a specific figure who's surrounded by a crowd of individuals. And this goblin figure, what does she look like, Kayla?
Well, you all see a rather tall goblin, about 5 feet tall, wearing a kind of crochet white beach dress, with what looks to be a high sandaled shoes, wearing a very large, very simple white sun hat, pair of large black sunglasses, wearing very simple makeup, but a very nice dark black lipstick, and has what seems to be a very small silver necklace around her neck, that kind of dips down into her collarbone. She's surrounded by reporters and fans and a few cosplayers as well, and she's signing forms. She's taking pictures with the guests, and she constantly has this broad smile on her face. She has this air of confidence, that and while she does portray that, you see that whoever she meets with, she's always kind to, always has a smile and gives them a hug.
And that's what you see. And out of the corner of your eye, Finns, as you're signing away these papers and taking pictures with your fans and your reporters for whatever cover of whatever magazine they represent. You notice out of the corner of your eye this group of individuals that have just gotten off their ship. What do they look like at the moment? This trio, well, squad, 4 people, but I'll describe Whitney for you, but the other 3, what do they look like?
Well, Lady Kebachet of House Taldaha is a very tall Avara with the head of a martial eagle with very dark black feathers down her back of her head, a very large, sharp taloned beak, black and white spots very well dressed in a white, almost gauze romper with gold accents that crisscross across her chest, and a very large, almost the size of your fist, black opal in her necklace, and a small bag on her side, as she's apparently being escorted by
Myself, I am a somewhat tall human, black hair. For sure, at the moment, my hair is not all sleeked back because I expect like the sun will just melt away whatever I would put on my hair. So a little bit disheveled, but adjusted a little bit. I am wearing cargo shorts and the temperature on the planet is very warm, correct?
Oh yeah, it's Florida level.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to not look like a meth addict.
You would not be seen with me if you looked like a meth addict.
Oh, no worries. I'm wearing cargo shorts, a floral shirt, because that's the first thing I found in my closet that was not a suit. And thankfully, I am not wearing flip-flops. I'm wearing shoes. I'm pretty sure I would have been killed on sight for that. And with us, our third companion, which is going to be a pretty sight.
Hey, Red thinks it's pretty, okay? It doesn't know any
It
better.
is. I know it is.
So, Zred is at this moment, is looking like Willem Dafoe in drag. I can't remember what movie that's off of specifically, but I know that I'll be corrected here. With
Boondock
the
Saints.
pretty big, yeah, the big glasses and like a romper or sundress or something that just doesn't quite fit right. Maybe like the jelly sandals. It looks like a mess, but it feels nice about itself. So that's Red.
And I gave Whitney a very nice blue and white sundress with pink, with small periwinkle flowers on it from my own wardrobe.
That's what you see, and they're staring at you the same way that so many others have stared at you in the past.
She sees them. She takes a second to write down her autograph for what seems to be a very large orc man, who's, despite his imposing form, is just kind of geeking out. She hands it to him and kind of takes his hand, leans him down, and gives him a kiss on the cheek, which sends him into like a whole like blush, just like oh no, and just like moves him away. Then she turns to you all and she's gonna wave and give a friendly wink to Meep.
Oh, this is Redrick.
Yeah, to Zedric.
All right. And the last time, before I realized that this was going to be being played by another player character, I was intending on trying to use Detect Thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I could also try to probe a way into getting whatever those tickets are.
Mm-hmm.
But since that's the case, I will not do that. It goes against kind of my personal...
Okay.
I don't like doing things against other player characters.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
you certainly can, because I'm a guest. So if you want to, it's fine.
If it's something that would be fun for you, then I will do that. But if it needs to happen after some other things, that's fine too.
I mean,
Or
sure.
not at all.
It may be contested though, but you know.
As long as then, if everybody is fine with it, that's what I would have done.
Then I mean,
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
is everyone cool with it?
Yeah, as a player.
All right. So
So-
what do you just look for? Surface thoughts?
Honestly, it's been a really long time since I used this spell or
So-
looked at it.
Yeah, the spell by default, it gives you the surface thoughts of a creature, but then you
Yeah.
can probe deeper if you want to
Okay.
learn like a specific thing.
Which, if you do, if they succeed in their DC check, they know that you were trying to.
Yeah.
So it can reveal your attempt as well.
So
You
I
just-
would have been willing to do that if so I'll go full on then. So I will probe deeper.
All right. Then, Finns, can you make a wisdom saving throw against Zred's DC? What's your DC for spellcasting, Zred?
That's a good question.
It
been a
would
while
be
since
under
I've
the...
had
Yeah, it's under the spell tab.
one. 14.
14. Just made it. 14.
All right.
All right.
So you know the moment you turn around, Finns, and wink at Willem Dafoe, you sense that someone in that group is trying to peer into your mind, and you see this, tall figure with a blonde, sort of like fake blonde hair, just stare intently at your direction. At your person, and they're holding. Are you still holding your like autograph thing in your hands, or clutching like the autograph book and just staring? And you've seen that face before, Finns.
And so she's not going to acknowledge it. She's going to pretend that nothing went down. But while she's signing stuff, she's going to turn to one of the security guards that's with her and whisper that she wants them to bring the group over here.
Hi, ma'am. And while this is happening, we'll move on closer to the water's edge, where a lone... My god, I just had the picture from Inspector Gadget where Spider is nothing but like a leg on a lounge chair. Like the bad guy was nothing but an arm on a chair. This figure hanging out in the shadow of an umbrella, lounging on a chair with a towel, a beach towel with the imprint of a spider on it.
Excuse me, is this towel taken?
Next to you, you see this slender, dark elf with big sunglasses. You know, the ones that cover like half your face. She was reading on a data pad, and she just turns to you and says, "Well, that depends. I normally reserve this for friends."
After some interesting news came out, just shortly before I got on this planet, I would hope you'd consider me a friend.
And she turns off the data pad and says, "Well, then sit down, Captain Highhill."
Much appreciated. I sit down.
You are, I have to say, much taller in person.
That's a first. So I did what you asked.
You did.
And, I'm pretty impressed with Doxy's ability to get this information out as quickly as he did. I think we managed to hit every single data pad and every single terminal in the known universe.
Yep. There is, and she looks up to the sky, a certain delay for Paradise 1, so that it doesn't bother, news across the galaxy must not hinder in people's vacations, holidays as it were, and so the news will probably hit Paradise 1 in a day or so. But at the very least, the rest of the galaxy is aware. Enjoy what little quiet time you have before the storm, Captain.
I imagine it's going to get a little loud.
It is. And I'm hoping that through that, we will, ferret out our enemies.
And who are those?
Are you familiar, Captain Highhill, with a group known as the Tower?
You know, I've heard rumors. You know, I've encountered people that, you know, claim to be part of them. Some people, you know, they might have a legitimate claim, and others, well, they live in the mother's basement. So, it's hard to tell, you know, who is and who isn't real when it comes to that group.
So you would not be surprised if I were to tell you that the Tower is real, and that there is, in fact, a group of well-connected people that
you know,
are at the helm.
I would believe it, and you know, it's just like I said, it's real hard to tell who's actually part of the organization and who simply claims to be part of the organization. You know, there's a similar situation with there was a group on this one planet. I think it was called Terra or something. And they like to call themselves Anonymous. And you know, this anonymous group. Now, some of these people were legitimate, you know, talented individuals. Others, you know, they just like the attention. So,
what do you know of the Rothians then?
You know, the space boogeyman, hive mind, eats psionic energy. Beyond that, not a whole lot.
But do you know where they come from then?
Somewhere beyond our universe, from what I understand. But
What
you know,
if
I'm not a scientist, so you know, I could be wrong.
No, but I will presume that you have some very talented scientists on board.
Yeah, a few.
The mark of a good captain is to know how to surround oneself with very talented individuals.
Yeah, you know, I'm a strong believer in delegation.
So am I. And as she says that, there's an elf servant that approaches, and he whispers something in her ear. She whispers something back. She says, your drink of choice, Captain.
You know what? We're on a beach planet. Let's get a beach drink. How about a hurricane?
A hurricane. And she just waves him away with her hand. She says, what if I told you that the Tower knew where the Rothians came from?
You know, I'm inclined to believe you.
And that they knew before everybody else. And they tried to warn the galaxy, and no one would listen.
Okay, I'm listening. And now, this talk of enemies, you've mentioned the Tower. Is the Tower our enemies?
No, the Towers aren't our enemies. The Tower knows of a new enemy.
A new enemy? Something different than the Rothians?
Something much more terrible than the Rothians, if they are to be believed.
All right. So, can you tell me about these?
I wish I could. You see, our enemies, as they are very well hidden amongst us. For all I know, you could be one of them. Though they would not have gone to the lengths that you've gone through to get that information out, since it sorts of tags them in it. They've infiltrated every layer of government this galaxy has. They are everywhere, all around us.
So, are you saying this information, all these organizations working together, is because of some force that infiltrated these different organizations to force them to work together on this Rothian experiment thing?
They forced them to work together to prevent the discoveries that Rothian experiment yielded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I believe everything that I've heard in the shadows, but Apparently they are on the move. They're not numerous. Merely a handful of them across the whole galaxy. But they pull very powerful strings.
Yeah.
And as a spider, I don't like when someone else pulls my web.
Fair enough. I can understand that. Now, what'll you have me do to continue to prove that I'm a friend?
The elf comes back with the drinks, and she hands you yours after taking a sip of it. She says, good choice.
I have a good idea every now and then.
For now, I would have you relax, Captain Highhill. You
Okay,
have a day ahead of you. Take in the sights of Paradise 1. I'll be in touch.
That sounds good. And, in exchange for whatever I'm going to, what I have done for you and what I'm going to do for you, would be too bold to ask that you help me get onto upper management's ship.
I'll see what I can do. After all, and she gets up from her chair, what are friends for?
Well, I appreciate we have a mutual understanding. I can't wait to hear from you.
And her whole figure fades away.
Alrighty. So I guess I'll catch up with the group after finishing my drink.
Do you keep the towel?
You know what? I will, because I read a book once that said that a well-versed traveler knows to keep a towel handy.
All right, then. You take up the beach towel and you head back to the group. And as you do and the camera follows you around, it lingers for a second. Wow, lingers for a second at a tiki bar where Doxy is meeting his brand new flame, Rosemary.
Doxy, looking, his form has shimmered into I can't remember exactly how I described it last time, but it's a skin tight, like less gadgets, but really it's all a shimmer of the image that he always has, and what you would imagine, very sleek beachwear, with red shorts, kind of like a blue skin tight top, with a kind of a sheen to it, absorbent material, probably something to keep you warm in cold water, but not too thick to be hot while you're walking around, so nice and breathable. And walks up to the bar, gets does that. Gets the attention of the bartender. Orders a mojito.
All right, and they come in these like giant glasses here.
So, like, I imagine it kind of being about the size, if not larger, than Doxy's head. So,
oh, definitely, it's the size of a frisbee.
Okay, so yeah, it's like in Doxy's world, it's like so huge. Like, oh my! They come in this size.
And behind a similar drink sits Rosemary, and she waves at you.
Oh, hi.
Hi. You notice she's dressed in a two-piece swimsuit. The top is like a tank top, and then the bottom, you can't really see it as she's wrapped a towel around her waist. She's still a bit like moist from going into the water, so she must have been there for like at least a few minutes to maybe a few hours before you. And she has her, sunglasses and sun hat on the table, and a straw, like a long, twirly straw from the glass.
The twirl straws.
The twirl straws, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would ask for one that has like crazy angles to it.
Yeah, they give you one easily.
Okay.
But then you realize as you're about to sit and drink that in your drink, on a tiny inflatable mattress, is a Wizmo sunbathing in your drink.
Oh my goodness. Now, how did you get here? I pull up a little interface and see if this Wizmo came from our ship.
Yeah, they did.
Tiny little thing. They did? Okay.
There's like a handful of them that came out.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I wasn't expecting chaperones. Well,
The Wizmo just winks at you.
and I would say this is more like under my breath, kind of away from what Rosemary can hear. That I said that, and then I look over to Rosemary and say, "Well, I hope you've been enjoying yourself so far. We just arrived, and this is so strange. I've never really been on a beach planet before."
Well, I'd be lying if I were to tell you that I've been waiting here for like 4 hours and this is my 28th drink. But it wouldn't be too far from the truth.
Oh.
It's
Well.
2.8 drink at the moment. I was nervous.
Understandable. I'm not very good at this myself. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been on a date, or whatever this is. I don't know.
Oh, it's when you say the word date, like her entire face changes to red. And she's like, well, yes, it's a date. Hi. How was your trip here?
Oh well, I made progress on a secret project that I've been working on for quite a while, and I may have done some things, seen the cosmos kind of thing. It was quite amazing, actually.
I've seen the horrors of the black.
Maybe that's a little bit too much shared to start, I guess.
I'm also working on a secret project.
Oh, yes.
It's
what?
It's a bit silly. It's just I've been working in, customer service and being a receptionist for a while, and I think I came up with something that will make my work so much better. It's just I need someone to help me make it. But I found out that you could hide a monofilament whip inside of a pen, and I can just whip the fuck out of those that keep pissing me off at work.
That is fascinating. And Doxy's just like, you can kind of how my face was. It's like eyes bulge. He's like, can I see it?
And then we'll pan on that to the rest of the group as you start talking and she's like drawing on a napkin like the basic schematics of what she wants.
I imagine Doxy's just like enraptured and then starts like making little notes like, well, if we do this, and like techno babble, just constant techno babble.
The background behind Rosemary becomes sort of blurry, and there's like lens flares and such. Back to the ship. Our group is accosted by a security guard. One tall and bulky human says, "Oi, the boss wants a word with y'all."
And who are you?
I'm the security.
For whom?
Miss Fisterberg.
I'll be happy to inform Miss Fisterberg that her security is quite rude. Well, lead the way.
Thanks. And he turns around and he escorts you a few paces away. As the rest of the security has managed to push the crowd back enough that you can speak with them without risk of being overheard. As the crowd is still, taking all the pictures and talking among themselves and You can hear a few half-muted, "Who are they? They can get close to her. Wow! I want to be them!"
Just like I see all this, and I'm like, all right, everyone, my friends are here. I will see you for the grand ceremony. Be sure to check your pads to make sure that you got your loot boxes. Don't forget, there's a chance that you could get a lifetime pass with us at Fisterworld, and you could get a day spent with me. So be sure to check that out.
And there's like someone in the crowd that's like, "Ah, crap! I got the 8th. It's the 8th time I get the Fisterberg Christmas skin." And you can hear them like press the buy button on their interface because it makes like a very specific jingle of coins dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just buying a bunch of loot boxes.
Mm-hmm. And she turns to you all. It's like, "Oh, hello."
Hello, Miss Finsterberg. You really do need to improve your security. They didn't even introduce themselves.
Oh, don't mind them. They're paid to be intimidating.
Then they don't do their job very well.
Oh.
Allow me to perform introductions. Miss Finsterberg, allow me to introduce Commander Edmund Fitzroy of the Lakshay Navy. We have my dear associate.
Naval Captain. Very nice to meet you, sir.
It is my pleasure. I will extend my hand to you.
Mm-hmm. She'll take it and just kind of like bring up in a very like dainty,
And I will curtsy as low as I need to get and give a good kiss on the hand.
Oh, gentlemen. Very nice to meet you. What brings you here to Pleasure One?
Paradise.
Oh, sorry. Paradise One.
Pleasure One is a planet I'm not allowed to stream.
That's where the Fisterburgers got their start?
Oh, boy.
We don't talk about that.
Of course we don't. Darling, it's fine. This is my other associate, Dredrick. They are...
I
Quite
noticed
an
you across the way. You have a very nice smile, dear. Tell me, what's your favorite Fisterberg film?
Red would name off every single one of them, but would know the one that's probably the most popular by media,
Mm-hmm.
or like has the most licensing, like when Frozen was super huge. So they would just say that.
Yeah, it's the Radiant and the Ravager. Would it be it? It's kind of like a spin-off space version of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
how an elven girl from the elven girl next door fell in love with a Scathari in a castle.
It's like, I love that one too, dear.
instant classic.
Exactly. As Red would say, but what if it was a Rothian instead? Just like to nobody.
Well,
It just holds out his little notebook or his little notebook for a signature, and like, would this be okay? Will you sign this, please?
of course, as long as you mind your manners from now on. And she gives you a wink, signs it. And I want to get an insight check on Zedric. Because
Sure.
after that detect thought spell, she wants to know if they're like one of those like creepy stalkers that she's had to deal with before, or if they're just like eager.
Sure, go ahead.
That is going to be, what's my insight? That is going to be an 18.
Zred, are you a stalker or are you an eager fan?
Just an eager fan.
Okay.
The starstruck fan that wants to get that wants to get that pass. That's all.
To be honest with you, when she kind of looks around, it's like, I think Arathian would be an excellent choice for a reboot, and hands you the pad back with her signage on it. and there's a small little heart
Oh.
for Zedric.
That's so cute. And I think that Kibichet would hear this, so like, like sort of
In her
excited.
mind?
Because we can speak,
Telepathic.
telepathically. So we're like, did you see that? Did you see what just happened? You saw that, right?
Yes, of course I did. I'm quite entertained. I'm also quite entertained that, such things are going on.
Now,
And,
But this is stopping me from getting a drink, darling, and I need to use it.
now it's very nice to meet you all. Because you are so nice, I'm going to, and I'm not supposed to do this, but, and she brings out her pad, and it's like, which one of you has your ship's ID card?
that would be either Zendak, who arrives at the moment.
I would believe it's him. I just drive the ship,
Yeah, or you.
pilot the ship.
Yes, I don't.
Oh,
I
hello,
don't
is
do-
this a friend of yours? Yeah, bring
This
him
is,
here.
this is our dear Captain Zendak Highhill, be made known to Miss Finns Fisterberg.
Pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you as well. I didn't know that we were courting celebrities.
Well, your friends here, especially Zredric here, has been quite amazing. I simply just enjoy them.
Zredric does leave quite the impression on people. Isn't that right, Doxy?
Doxy's not there.
Oh, shoot, Doxy's not there. That's right.
You just turn around. Isn't that
yeah.
right, Dox? And Doxy is.
Like mid-Doxy, I'm like, isn't that right, Edad?
No, you didn't say Eddard. We would have told you his name is Edmund.
Oh, Edmund. Right. Yes, because we're doing fake names.
Let's not make the same mistake twice.
And I imagine that Loxy is actually right, like next to you, so that I have some sort of data interface with you guys and not sneaking up on.
Wait, so while you're on your date, you're also looking through your stuff at what your friends are doing?
Not
She is.
really. I mean, it's like embedded in my iPlant, so she can't really tell that I'm looking at this stuff.
But
And
you're
it's just-
still doing it.
I'm watching them.
It's like
Yeah, okay.
you're on your phone during a date.
If I see Loxy, I'm going to tell Doxy to turn it off.
I have to teach you some manners, some etiquette.
But yes, they hand you over the ship's identification, like the license plate, if you will.
Gotcha. So she swipes it onto her pad, and while she does so, she's gonna type in some things. Using her sunglasses, she wants to subtly cast detect magic through them and see what kind of juice the group has on them right now. Because after the whole detect thoughts thing, she wants to make sure that they're on the up and up.
Well, they have magic weapons. They have magic items.
Mm-hmm.
Zred is entirely an illusion.
Interesting.
I have no weapons on me, actually. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, that's true. Most of you would have kept your weapons, the magic carbine and all that. You have it on yourself.
No.
Heather? Okay, good. So yeah, they don't have magic weapons. There's a small droplet-shaped ghost that is also magical. It's in the process of putting sunscreen on itself. That is magical.
Okay.
And
Interesting crew. All right.
huh?
Oh, just interesting crew. All
Yeah.
right. They're decked out to spades for paradise.
And then
Pilot.
you look at the red-headed girl in a sundress, and
Oh, I
there's
forgot she was
just
there.
a big outline of nothing. Like she is anti-magic.
Gotcha. So she's going to keep note of that. Regarding the illusion, does she see through it now she knows it's there? Or no?
No, it's part of the illusion school,
Gotcha.
but it's not
Okay.
a proper illusion.
Okay, gotcha. All right. In that case, she's gonna type a couple of things on her pad, and then it's gonna hand them back their key card. It's like, all right, well, I have tied 2 loot boxes to your ship. This will be applied to each member of the your group, but you only get 2. So, but whatever thing you get from it will be applied to all of your accounts. So good luck.
As you say that, there's a voice that booms out of the ship. It says, "Do I get one? Do I get one?"
Yes, darling, you get
What's
one.
that?
That would be our ship, dear.
Oh,
Yes, you can get one.
a talking ship. All right.
Well, in a way. Do I get one?
Hey, Twitch, you know what?
course
If
you
you
do.
want to go ahead and open up the loot boxes, it'll be applied to everyone, including your account, okay?
Is Red doing that little thing like with your feet where you're like,
Keep in mind, if you do want to buy more, it's going to cost you about 20 credits each.
Of course.
Damn.
No, Twitch, you can't buy any more. I froze the accounts.
We do
Damn it.
have a discount, though. If you want to buy about 50, it's about 1,000 credits off. If you want to buy 50.
This is bringing back bad memories of when I used to get in mobile gaming.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it, but you shouldn't encourage our ship with its
Oh, that's
minor
fair.
problems.
That's fair. Sorry about that. I'm
It's-
under contract. Yes, it is.
No, it's entirely understandable. You're a professional. I respect your professionalism.
Each
Um,
one of you gets a message on their pad that their credit card got declined for a purchase of 9,999 loot boxes from someone called Twitch.
Rich, I
That
told
was
you
one
I
of
froze
my
the account.
protocols.
You can't touch it.
You add it to your protocol, mom and dad, and it locks down all the credit cards.
Parental protocols that Debuchet and I worked out. We're like, we can't let him do it again. He keeps
Wait, again?
messages. Yeah, and we keep getting these shipments of boxes that we don't know where they're coming from.
It was part of the spam email clean out,
But
It was just parental controls on all of the credit cards.
But Mom, I only used it because this specific hotline told me that I could get tricks on my Nintendo 64.
Never trust an advertiser. They lie. It's their business.
Anyway, but yeah. So after you do that, Finns, you
Go
gave
on.
them the loot boxes.
Go on. Open them up. Go on. I want to see.
Is it what I think it is inside?
One of them is a random one, but the other one does have what do you think it is?
All right.
I did tell Twitch to open them. Did Twitch
Yep.
open?
No, Twitch gets to open one, and Dredrick gets to open one.
Well, you
I
each
agree to
got
that.
2, I think, right?
No, it's 2 for the ship.
Okay, for the ship.
Yeah. It's
So-
just what's in them is applied to the ship's crew.
Twitch opens this and is like, oh my god, I got a 50% off on a hat. Yay! A hat!
I can only imagine a hat on the ship.
Just a tiny ass hat.
Just like a top hat with like a spinning like wheel on it. Just,
Yeah, but it's a human-sized top hat on a ship.
just like ding.
It's it's a hard like hat that appears on your ship. And then the other ones, Redrick, that you open has a lifetime pass to Finn's Fisterberg's Fields of Fun, also called Fisterworld, for the entire crew of your ship, which is 6 humanoid. And it is only... Actually, it goes to 7 humanoids. And it can only be redeemed if the 7 humanoids are present and accounted for. So it's all of you and a +1.
As soon as that goes off, every pad on planet goes off with this da 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 the crew of this ship has won a lifetime pass, and you see like fireworks go off on the the screens. It just everywhere this huge sound comes up, and about 7 small little cam droids just whiz down from the sky and just follow each of you.
Looks, Red, more of those.
Yeah, it's a bunch of servitors.
They're gonna be mine before this episode's over.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna just...
Wait, Doxy wants them.
Yeah, no, but Doxy, as you're talking to Rosemary, you see like 4 of these servitors with cameras and the music da, 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 as they circle you, and Rosemary's like, wait,
Did I win something?
you won it? It's
I won? What?
Look, and she like sort of twists on her seat, and she points to the rest of the group, and she's like, over there, that's Vince Fisterberg. I bought a few loot boxes waiting for you. I thought maybe it could get us a ticket to get into Fister World for our date. But it seems like you won it. Oh my.
What? Oh, well, he kind of like nervously and kind of anxiously just like starts drinking his drink, like kind of a little bit faster than he probably should.
The Wizmo just bumps on your nose.
Yeah, it's like he tries to do the Jaws thing where it's like bop bop bop.
We're gonna need a bigger glass.
Yeah. Took me a second, but I got it.
So you do you make your way back to the group with Rosemary in tow?
I mean, I guess we have to go. Well, finish your drink if you want. Although I think you're far ahead than I am. Oh my! And like to not be beaten, Doxy's like, oh okay, and he does the same. And the Wizmo, like I kind of imagine he kind of grabs the Wizmo with his teeth and then tosses him on his shoulder and then goes off.
The Wizmo is on your shoulder and it's just holding on for its dear life because the pace at which you walk is so much faster than they can ever hope for.
They're like, I'm on a Titan. What is going on? Yeah.
It's gonna try to control you with your hair like in Ratatouille. And you make your way to the rest of the group, and before we head out to Vince Fisterberg Fields of Fun, we are going to take a short break, and then we'll move on to Fister World for the second part of our adventure.
This is a PG.
And we're back. Hi, everyone. So, we'll jump in time. A few minutes. How far away is Finnsfisterberg's Fields of Fun from the beach? And what does it look like when the group approaches the grounds? How big is it?
Well, the thing is, the Mephisto world is actually in the middle of this this artificial sea. You can only get there by flying boat or a self-driving ship. And as you all are just kind of told that since you were the first ones to win the lifetime pass, that you get to spend the whole day with me, Vince Fisterberg, and she'll be your guide for the whole day. But as you guys get onto her private self-driving ship, it's like a very luxurious, like self-driving it's sleek white with gold trim. It can house about like 8 people in the seats. But as you guys approach, you find that it is almost as big as a large metropolis itself. There's high silver spires draped in reds and golds and blues and greens. You can see coming up from some of the sides are a number of holographic depictions of characters and names of rides. You can see the front archways are built into 8s, where you see the cars are kind of lined up to get inside. And you can see Fisterberg's Fields of Fun right on top, and about a mile out you can hear the theme songs being played.
Which Zredrick would know by heart at this point. You enter the
Oh, while we're gone, Simon, I'm going to send Twitch a Wreck-It Alf and Wreck-It Alf 2. Alf breaks the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
For him to watch.
For him to watch in the meantime.
For Twitch to watch while we're gone. Yeah.
All right. Good.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a bunch of rides that we can all. The way this is gonna work is if you want, rides are like a scene each. You don't have to undergo any of them if you don't want to. But because, in the interest of time, while this while this theme park is enormous, we're going to focus on only like some of the rides that we came up with, or actually I should say that Kayla came up with. So if you're interested in one of them, like these are the ones that if you want to have like a scene aboard a roller coaster or whatever. These were the ones that we're gonna go with. And thank you, Frost from Fire, for the donation. As you approach the theme park, something's gonna go off, and the wheel is going to get spinned, as we'll probably have You won loot! Oh my god!
More loot! Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
That comes with the pass.
Thank you very much. It came with the pass, and I will give that to the players after the game. But you will be granted a chest full of magic items for you to share among yourselves. Wow, tonight has been... The beach episode is so far proving to be the most rewarding for the players.
Right?
Yep. Thank you again, Charlie. So, the rides that we have are the following. Captain Astro's River Ride. the Enchanted Ship Bay, the Spellcasters of the Magic Empire, the Saturnian Adventure, Radiant and the Ravager live on stage, or, and I think this one is the one that Finns wants to bring you to, Fantasy Wars.
Fantasy Wars?
Doxy in particular would be interested in experimenting with something that has magic in the name.
Fantasy Wars, Vince will tell you, is their latest acquired property. They got it from Mucus Arts.
Oh no!
Where it's essentially this kind of 80s inspired fantasy thrill ride that's kind of this laser and obstacle course kind of thing where you fight through the lair of the great demonic empire and try to save the land of Arcania from the forces of evil, and it's this kind of like Conan sword and sorcery inspired ride.
Yep. You take on the role of for this one anyway, for Fantasy Wars, you can take on the role, like, cheap costumes of Queen Viana, Rack, Captain Zeta, Ouchta, the mysterious vowel person, or N3RD.
Doxy personally wants to partake in both Fantasy Wars and Spellcasters of the Magic Empire.
All right, Rosemary is going to say, oh, Spellcasting of the Magic Empire is one of my favorite. I am such a big Willow fan.
Oh my god, me too!
I'm gonna wreck your shit, because I'm ace at laser tag. And she says that with, like, her eyes just slowly, like, bulging, and, like, you don't know what you're getting into.
Oh, God.
I am scared.
What rides interest you all? I know that you have the lay of the land. It's completely free, and you don't even have to stay in line. You just get in.
You know, I think I might see that play, Radiant and the Ravager.
All right, so one of you is going to Radiant. One of you to Radiant, one of you to Spellweaver. What about the rest?
Redwood. If it seemed like Fitz was leaning more towards the fantasy wars, then that's probably what they would advocate for. And the whole time they're just spouting off like extended universe facts, like,
it's like
they've read all the books.
It's like, I love that one.
Yeah, the fantasy wars, Clone Wars, you know, just spouting off all the facts.
The Simulacrum Wars.
My favorite ones personally were Lieutenant Prawn's trilogy. It was quite interesting, and I tried so hard to get that involved when we bought it out, but unfortunately the shareholders thought it was too complex, but I understand completely.
Awesome. And Red would just be like, oh yeah.
All right, so Fantasy Wars, Spellweaver, Kebichet?
Darling, where can I get a drink?
Oh, there are a few places, and I think I sent them to you as well,
yes,
Simon.
I have them here.
Places to eat. So.
Yep. Places to eat. We have the Shadow Lair, a villain-themed restaurant. Mungo's Maluvian Cafe, with kid-friendly food. And Crater's Corral, a buffet-style Wild West settler area served by animatronic cowboys.
Well, can I get an actual drink at this villain's restaurant?
Of course.
Yes.
It's
fine dining and adult beverages.
Yeah, it's geared more towards families and parents that wanted a break, as it were. So it's perfectly fine.
Well, I know where I'm going.
Whitney says, is it okay if I follow you, if I come along?
With me?
Well,
Or with any of the others?
no, with you.
course.
I'm not sure I'll be able to handle roller coasters at the moment.
Of course, darling. Always welcome.
All right, so you two go to the bar, and what about Edmund?
I want to go see the play. I've never seen the movie. Apparently, everybody's gaga about it, so I want to be able to go see what it is.
All right, so we have the play, the laser tag, and then Fantasy Wars.
If that's the case, since there's multiple of you going to the play, she's going to turn to Zedric. I know you love the film. Would you want to sit with me and enjoy it? Wonderful. And she just kind of like leans into him on like the spaceship and just kind of smiles.
Cool. She's like doing the little foot thing again, like this is something that's happening to me.
We'll start with the play, and then we'll move on to the laser tag. It's cheesy quality, though. So the play begins with the Radiant in the forest, and she's like, "Oh, woe is me, for I have lost my way in thine woods, monster. Thine woods, monster!" And like this other actor comes out wearing what is clearly a secondhand outfit, but all the kids are tripping over themselves. Like, to the kids, this is magic. But to the adults, everyone is like, have they been skimming off the top? Well, I think, yeah, I've heard that they're in legal trouble and they're having a bunch of problem with money these days.
Do I hear all this going on?
Yep.
I turn to the security guard that's with me. It's like, who hired these two? Like, this was my mother's last work. Like, who signed off on this?
They're temp workers, ma'am. The real actors got sick after they ate at the cowboy place at the Wild West.
Today was supposed to be nice. All right. Tell them to take a break, and I'm going to take over the role of the Radiant.
Who do we take on the role of the Ravager?
Hmm.
We need a monster. We need a Scathari. We don't have a Scathari.
I point at Zred as this is
Zred
being said.
Can be a Scathari. Like, is that what you need?
Zred, I don't want to impose. I know this is a lot, but are you comfortable on stage?
Do it.
They would do it, especially if it earned your favor.
All right, just so you know, there is a kiss scene. So if you don't want to do that, we can just like do the whole stage kissing thing if you want to. I know that says a lot.
That would be fine with Zred.
All right. Tell them like now, quickly, before the whole crowd like.
Hey, you two, you're fired.
No.
Wow, the decorum.
Fired, taking a break.
I meant the break. You're on break. So, and like some of the kids start freaking out, and the security agent just brings you to the front, and then like to the backstage where the costumes are, and he turns to the kids and he's like, "All right, friends, we're just gonna switch our actors over because the last ones were bad as all hells."
He's
Wow.
Thank
not
you.
gonna have a job at the end of the night. He's
I'm-
not gonna have a job.
I'm whispering to Zred some stage directions to try and give advantage on a performance check.
All right, so right before you get on stage, we're gonna have to spin the wheel again, thanks to Uncanny Adventures. And,
Snap!
oh snap! Is this going to be some more loot for the group tonight? Oh, you've got to be kidding me! Twice the loot and twice the levels tonight.
Yeah.
episode rock.
Finn's
We're getting all
Fisterworks
this
Fields
night.
of Fun is just, yeah, it's for all the bad stuff that happened with the ship before this one episode, 1 week before the finale of this first season, is, wow, all of the loot, all of the fun. Thank you
Hey.
so much.
The wheel knows you stingy. That's what's going on. The wheel knows you stingy.
So, I will ask both Kayla and Rochelle to make me a performance check. Zredrick, you get to make a performance check with advantage.
Well, before we get onto stage, is Zedric nervous at all? Going up the stage?
I don't know. That's a really great question. I don't know that, like, Zred's specifically afraid, but has never done this type of thing before, so it
Gotcha.
probably...
Well, if that's the case, you see Finn's look at you as they're like being done up in like the makeup and the outfit, and you're going to get a bardic inspiration
Ooh.
Hey.
as she turns to you and it's like, you know what helps me during all these things? Singing my favorite song from the piece. And she goes into this thing and just like walks towards you. It's like, I never knew what love could be. I never knew what this would be. But
No.
then you came and took me in. And she like goes into the whole thing and just like holds your hand and you like kind of dance out onto the stage and you get a D8 party inspiration for your performance check.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
That's really cool. And you would know
Amazing.
also that, Kayla, that I can look like a Scathari if I want to.
Nice.
So... I'm
Yeah,
able to
all
do
of a
that.
sudden, and it takes only a snap of your fingers.
Yep. So, let's see here. I'm still really bad with these sheets. But you said performance,
Yep, performance.
and then I add a D8. Ooh, I
Oh
crit on that.
God! Yeah, and you
I'm-
can add a D8 if you want.
Do
I'm
it.
gonna
Overkill.
disguise self on myself so I look exactly like the movie version of the Radiant.
All right. So that's a 25 total for Zred.
I think that
That's gonna be a 26 for me.
it was meant to be.
Oh yeah, it is the most moving performance. Zred knows every word, every inflection perfectly. Everything is amazing. And then when the song ends, at the very end, after an hour, because it's a shortened version of the play, you go for the big kiss.
You're just like
And-
crying because you had just died and been brought back, It's like real tears.
And the hat of disguise is knocked off Zred's head.
Oh no!
And you kiss this giant Rothian.
I'm
And then-
sorry.
Turn to the kids in the audience. And there's a moment of silence. And then they just cheer and jump up and down. And like freak out of joy. It seems that having a Rothian enhances the whole experience.
Finn's just kind of out of character for her. You see her eyes turn into like slits, and it's like ah.
But the kids are like,
yeah.
yay!
And like in the crowd, like Doxy's like, what? Did that?
Yep.
Wait, were you not aware yet?
No, shoot, he was.
No, more just like,
Oh.
oh.
It's like, and so try not to miss a beat. Kind of holds Zedric's hand. I assume
They have
Rock
hands.
hands. Hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Just hold a hand and it's like, quick, take a bow, dear. And just,
They will, and they'll follow you wherever.
it's like
But-
she runs off stage with you. Like,
Make Zred make a charisma check.
Ooh.
Wow,
I can't see what I got.
jeez.
a 26.
Oh.
A natural
That's a nat.
20 again.
Ooh. This is my lucky night. I was born to do this.
You seem fed.
Ooh.
The energy from the crowd was, in a way, sustaining. It doesn't taste like anything you've ever tasted before. It is far from the regular taste of fear. It's something adjacent. Trepidation.
I like that a lot. If I had a chance to, I would have grabbed my hat back off the stage and put it on as quickly as possible.
Now, does this remind Zred of the movie Monsters LLC?
Sort of. It might just be because of where she is or where they are at the moment. But it does. It seems like psychic energy comes from strong emotions.
Zred would immediately apologize to Finns. Like, I'm so sorry. That shouldn't have happened, and I'm really sorry.
Why don't you make an insight check?
Ooh.
Ooh.
21.
21.
My virtual dice are on fire tonight.
Like her pupils are slits and she's kind of shaking, but you don't sense any fear or anything. In fact, it's excitement. It's like,
I don't know that Zred would know what to do in that situation. I think that I would be probably like reaching out mentally to Kebashet. Like, this is how it's happening.
Well, let's look at what's happening to Kebichet for a moment. Sitting at a bar. Do you prefer the bar or the table with Whitney?
Oh, if she's got Whitney with her, she'd ask for a table.
All right, so you're sitting at a table. It's like one of those very, very high tables with high chairs, like bar
I'm
stools,
assuming-
if you will.
I'm assuming there has to be like an outdoor area at this restaurant, right?
Oh. Yeah, if you wish to be outdoor, you can definitely be outdoors.
She's sitting outside.
And Whitney's with you. And so she asks you, so you've always been a medical professional?
Well, I've always been a cleric. Well, for my adult life, yes.
Oh, interesting.
And a cleric. Two kind of go together.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And you notice that, she's not that great at small talk or at talking, period. So the conversation is marked with these like long pauses when she doesn't really know what to say or ask or...
Darling, you can ask me anything. Promise not to get offended.
You say you found me on the ship.
Indeed.
Did you find anything else?
We found a number of items and things. The ship is a very unique form of transportation. Home, even, one might call it. For at least now.
Nothing with my name on it? Nothing that could help me know who I am?
Not currently. We did occasionally find some psychic impressions. Well, I didn't. We found very few things with people's names on it. Admittedly, we got the ship from someone else who had gutted it beforehand, and things were locked down. It required a certain level of persuasion with which to achieve what we have.
Who did you get the ship from?
Our captain received the ship as part of his duties with his employer. Well, my employer. They're our employer.
And that is?
The firm.
Oh. Maybe I should pay this firm a visit.
I can arrange an introduction if you'd like.
That could be beneficial.
Indeed.
Sorry, Kebichet, make a perception check.
Okay.
As you're talking with... especially through the long pauses.
Mm-hmm. It went to click, I'm sorry. Perception or insight?
Perception. Or you can tell me with your 18. What's your passive?
18.
It's 18 anyway? Alright, so would have been the same. You, through the pauses in our conversation, you often hear, birds of conversations in the background. Sort of just small excerpts of what people are talking about. And then you hear the words Lady Katesh. And seems like these elves are scoffing at the fact that there is an Avira play around the life and fall, the rise and fall of a lady of House Katesh. And they talk about how it's ridiculous in that Aviras are way too into their worship of the sun and all that to even entertain the thought that something or someone could fall from grace. This is just a ridiculous attempt at them at having any sort of art form, and that they're not, their tiny bird brains are not able to comprehend theater and all that.
Whitney, darling, how are you enjoying your trip? It's so pleasant, isn't it?
Yeah, I like this place. To clarify, Deirdre, it's, from what you can gather, it's probably Lady Katesh, but they changed the name to a Lady of House Katesh. So as to not talk about the exact person.
Oh, darling. Hey, Simon.
Hmm?
What's her DC on that wisdom save?
That would be a 15. But
Okay.
right before you go and make this action, you get a message from Shred.
Oh.
What does it say?
Would just be like, please help me out. I don't know what to do. Oh my god. She smells nice. And
Okay. First of all, breathe. I don't
know if Rothians even breathe, but I'll make the motion.
We talked about this meditation thing. It's in and out. And this whole thing is entirely mental, and she's just sitting there nodding along. And what exactly is the current problem?
She would be replaying it back so that you could kind of see it like DVR. And then this happened, and my hat fell off, and the kids liked it, and so did Finn's, and oh. Just be all of that.
We'll go with that. Well, I shall be there shortly if you require me to. Darling, do you require me?
I just don't know what to do, but
Well, if you think you do, I'll be there shortly. I think your first course of action would be to make sure that the hat is secure this time.
right, okay.
Ask if there's anything that Mr. Berg would like of you,
Okay.
and we can go from there.
All right, I'll reach out if I need more help. Thank you.
Yes, yes, of course, darling. I'm always here for you.
Bye.
All right. And before we... Because I know something's going to happen at the bar. But I want to know Doxy and his date. And then we'll go back and forth between the three groups like that. Yep.
I do want to mention that the servitors that have been that were recording the group are still around them. Part of the
everyone is filmed all the time.
So
Oh,
my character would get what the feed is.
Mhm.
Would I have heard the exchange before of the?
It's telepathy.
Of the surrounding people.
Oh yeah. You would have heard it in the background. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yep.
Unless Deirdre wants to do something, while the party is backstage and kind of trying to figure out what to do, she's gonna tell security guard, gonna bring her over to the pad. Come here.
What?
You see these two? And she's gonna pull up the screen, and there's gonna be some elves talking.
Yeah.
I want them off planet in the next hour.
oh,
You
Sure,
think an hour? You think that's going to be fast enough?
If that's not done, and considering your demeanor before the play, I'll want your badge at the end of the night if it's not done. Understood?
I'll handle it, ma'am.
Good. Thank you.
And they sprint away. Let's check out what's happening at oh boy, what was the name of that one? Spellcasters of the Magic Empire.
yeah.
You go in, so like a laser tag, you have this waiting room where people get dressed and put on their harnesses and guns and everything, and
Doxy just scans the system, and then his entire outfit just comes into this battle ready, just kind of Tron-esque insanity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As soon as you do, you kind of see this display of an old man with a long wispy beard and just a pointed hat and a staff. It's welcome, hero. Are you here to defend the world from the evil void lords?
yes.
Let's do it.
And she gets all of her gear ready, and she is going to play the part of Willow, of course, and you are probably Sir Starbright, because why not?
That makes sense. Yeah.
And you go in for this match of laser tag. So what I'm gonna ask you, Doxy, is to make an attack roll, and that'll determine how well you perform during that first round.
Now, can I do some things since this is technically laser tag?
It's like hard light tag, or yep.
I am a hard light architect.
I'm gonna cheat at laser tag.
I think he's gonna
No.
overcharge it.
Yeah, I'm gonna overcharge it. No, I was just curious. With my skill set, would I be able to roll with advantage and then also I want to help out my teammate. So I want to do something, and
then replace your attack roll with a technology roll.
Okay. Okay. All right. I want to use my new
Sure.
dice. So I'm rolling over here.
Just let me know out loud what you roll.
Totally. So it's a technology roll, and then
With
okay. So
advantage.
let's say with advantage. Okay, cool. Natural 20.
So throughout the adventure, you know, the evil orcs monsters show up with their laser axes and they try to fire at you and it doesn't work, and you can hear the actors amongst themselves go like, what is this bullshit? Nothing's working. Like, oh no, I die! And like the whole thing is just on easy mode.
Well, I want it to be like the best experience.
Oh, okay, better than that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I don't want it to just be like easy mode. I want it to be like, you know, we're having a blast. We're just like right when we need it, we have what we need, like a shield conjures, or like, you know, things like that.
Okay, you want to make it. Okay, I thought you wanted to make it easy. You want to make it even like enhance the experience.
I want it to be like the best Willow ever.
And she is the best Willow ever. So much so that she gets into it, and at the very end, there's the fight with the 7-headed dragon, Diamat, and the group, and like she gets so much into it that she does exactly like Willow did in the movie, where Willow used her telekinetic powers to tear a tree from the ground and fling it at Tiamat, and she just goes and takes the tree with her own, like her bare hands, which is like a plastic tree, and she knocks the actor wearing the Tiamat costume like over on the head, and she's like, ah! Ah! Yes! Yes!
I think you peaked your mic.
Oh, I probably did. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry,
No,
everyone.
okay. No one heard it.
And,
oh, you did.
Huh?
No, nothing.
Okay. But she's like super into it, and you come out of this, and she's like, best date ever. Oh, Doxy. Hi.
Oh my god! That was incredible. Oh,
I think I'm in love.
what?
Huh? What?
Nothing.
No. Do you wanna join back with your friends and everything? The show's gonna be over.
Well, I mean, this was incredible, but I really want to also check out the, what was that other one? The,
Fantasy Wars?
Yeah, the Fantasy Wars. I really want to see what happens in the Fantasy Wars. This is, let's continue, let's keep going.
All right.
Hey, Doxy.
Oh.
Doxy. Have you kissed it yet?
And as he hears that, he's like, but first, and like you can see like the sweat just kind of like start filling up on his face. He's like, and he just goes for it, and it's like awkward, like to some extent, and but yeah.
It looked like you were head-butting her, but okay.
Yes, I know. He's like,
And she doesn't really know. Like, she goes in for like the cheek, and then turns to the mouth, and then to the cheek, and she's like, "Oh fuck it!" And she takes your head in her hands and just like presses her lips against yours.
I just see,
and it's
this is
beautiful.
Like,
Oh, you see the footage.
viral. It's going viral so quick.
Yeah, the servitors
Yeah.
are like swirling, and all across the park, and all the billboards, you can see like this kiss cam of Doxy and Rosemary.
His gadget, like a few of Loxy, like seeing this, like fires off a couple of different gadgets, and so like if you'll allow it, the blink button goes off, and like they both teleport like 15 feet away, and then something else goes off. Shoot, what do I have?
And then all the weapons go off.
The bubble projector comes up. And then like Doxy just, the spectrum visor comes down, and he just sees the magic that is happening.
Just the whole like park sees on these cams like this whole scene, and like a song from one of the films plays, and there's like this husky half orcs man voice of just like, love is a funny thing. The funniest thing in space.
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
there's
Deirdre, you're muted. Oh,
there are these 5 Wizmos looking at the billboard somewhere in the park, and one of them just wipes a pixelated tear.
This is so beautiful.
Before we head back to the play, at the bar, the guard is going to come running, but he won't have time to stop Kibichet from doing what exactly?
Well, she's going to roll that wisdom save first.
Yeah.
And she probably will be fine because it's plus. Yeah, it's a 22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whitney, haven't you ever heard? And she switches languages and she says this loudly in Elvish. Whitney, you'd be surprised at the level of lack of class that such places attract. You wouldn't want to become part of them. Can I get you another drink, darling?
And she leans over to you and she's like, I don't speak Elvish.
It's okay, darling. It wasn't for you. Would you like another drink?
Yes, I would, in fact, like another drink. And then you have this security guard that comes in, panting. Oi! You two! Get the fuck off the planet! And the elves are like,
You are very rude.
Are you?
You are very rude.
Yes! Whatever the birds said, you are very rude, sir. And he's like, don't.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh shit, I made a mistake. And
Oh,
he's
you
like-
dead, bro.
And the elf says,
No.
oh,
No. I'm sorry. You're security, aren't you?
yeah, I am. I'm about to lose my job, ma'am. Let me escort these two off planet.
Let me give them a small gift before you do. It's my job as a cleric to give gifts, isn't it?
Sure.
And she stands up. She pulls her necklace out and she walks over. And in Elvish gets in their face and says, Darling, if I was a bird, I'd be ripping your eyes out. Instead, I'm just going to guide you on the path to enlightenment. So the next time you open your mouth, double check it. Your bags are over there. The exit's over there. I'd get going. And she walks back out. So, Whitney, what would you like to drink?
And the two elves are just frozen in fear. And they're like, alright. They take their stuff. And then the security guard just puts a hand on both their shoulders. And he's like, you're coming with me. And drags them away. Whitney says, I mean, I know that Finn's talked about going to try the Fantasy War thing. I think I'd be up. Might be the drink talking, but I think I'd be up for like one ride. What you say?
Oh. What do you want to do?
Take part in a ride?
Go right ahead. Fine, what do you want to do, darling? This is not... whatever.
Fantasy War.
Fine, let's go.
Yay!
If I have another drink, it'll be fine. And she turns and looks at whatever, and she looks at... she notices the servitors and goes, I have an empty glass, darling.
The servitor with the camera looks at you and goes like, burp, 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 and it brings back another glass.
Thank you.
Um,
Well, immediately after I finish this drink, I'm going to need it. And she, like, literally takes it. God, am I...
backstage at the play. The four of you are, have been let backstage since, you know, the play's over. All the kids and all the families have been, you know, have dispersed among the crowds. What do you do?
Finns is just in shock right now.
I think Zred is also just totally that overwhelmed / disoriented, like this actually just happened kind of sensation. And they're just like, Pins, I'm really sorry I didn't tell you, but I hope you understand why I can't not wear this disguise.
Is there a side room?
Yeah, sure.
Like an actor's lounge or whatever?
Yeah. There's a green room.
She's going to turn to whatever security guards are around, just like, keep an eye on the place.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And she kind of takes your hand, looks to the others. We should probably talk. And kind of leads you all inside.
All right. Do you follow Zendak and Eddard?
Yes. Don't know what's gonna happen to Zred in there. I don't want to leave them alone.
Cool.
And Kebichet would have texted you as soon as she got that panicked message from Jedrick. Is like, go make sure Jedrick's okay. I'll be there shortly. Maybe.
Aye.
As soon as you guys get in, you see her touch her pad, and she turns to the servitor that's by her that's a little bit more antique than the rest of them. There's little cogs in it. You can see that there's a little bit of scrapes and stuff like that. She's going to say, turn the cameras off.
The servitors just go in idle mode.
So, I assume that wasn't another illusion? You're muted. Yeah.
Sorry. If you weren't terrified initially, then Zred will take the chance and take off the hat and reveal that they are, in fact, an enormous Rothian.
Just like eyes go to slits again.
It's just like, but for whatever reason, Zred, whatever they're like out, just has like this like creepy like like has the big hammer like head look and big sharp teeth and his like gnarled, knobby, grotesque hands.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of like extends a hand. Do you mind kneeling down for a second?
I'll do that.
She kind of stands on tiptoes and touches your kind of shark fin head. I heard stories, but I haven't exactly seen a Rathian up close. And she's just like staring, just enraptured. Are you connected to the hive mind?
No, I got left behind, and something happened to me, and now I'm trying to get back, but I don't know if that can happen or not.
And you all were aware of this? I take it.
I've been
She looks
with
at the rest of the group.
Some time.
I learned it not too long ago.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Hey.
Hey, you know
That
what?
was hilarious.
You know, despite your reaction, Doxy inked himself. You know, he went invisible. He ran out. It was classic.
Sounds about him.
So, you know, as funny as your reaction was, you know, I don't think I'll ever forget Doxy's.
Well, I want you to know right off the bat, you all are safe. I'm not going to tell anyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
And she kind of takes Zedric's hand and says, this park is named after my mother. She started all this, and I don't think it would be fair to her name if I got upset with this. She always said that life in the galaxy was wonderful and surprising, and you're surprising. but in a good way. Call me Finns.
I'll nod. Thank you, Finns.
I take it you're not just tourists, are you?
I had
I
a
think Zred thinks we are, but I don't know all the motives of our captain.
Yeah, we're tourists.
not entirely. I had some business on the planet, but yeah, I mean it was relaxing for the a little business, a little pleasure.
I can ask, what do you all do?
I'm a lawyer.
Huh.
I'm a professional ass kicker.
Mercenaries?
Some of them are, yeah.
Yeah.
I solve problems for my clients, in the courtroom, mostly, and they help me ensure that problems stay solved.
Right. I think we should wait till all your friends get here. I think I have a proposal for you all.
You can call me Elias. Let me call the rest of the group, and I'll have them regroup. And I'm gonna calm the group and be like, looks like we've got a business proposal from the Lady Finn. If you could meet us at the theater, Finn wants to discuss a proposal with us.
I kind of imagine that. Oh, sorry. That Doxy is kind of like enraptured in the moment, and then locks and his comms, like his internal or his built-in comms, are off, and so then all of a sudden there's like a image of Loxy that pops up, and it's like, whoop. You have a message that is urgent from Captain, and takes about 3 times for Loxy to actually get the attention of Doxy, but eventually come.
I'll be there momentarily, Captain.
Is something the matter?
Apparently Miss Finsterberg wishes our attention. I'm sure it's absolutely nothing, and then we can go watch. We'll join up with the others. We'll go watch all this Fantasy Wars thing. I'm sure it'll be perfectly normal.
All right.
As normal as I guess in this area of space, I should say.
Well, let's join with the group then.
Mm-hmm. And she's gonna look around. Well then, find the nearest security guard and walk up to them and say, "Hello, darling. Your employer, Miss Finsterberg, requires our immediate attention. Do you have some means of transportation for us to her location?"
I got my arms.
Really? You don't even have a cart? I will have to speak with her about this. She obviously needs to hire a better class of security. This is unspeakable. I honestly saw gum on the floor over there about 5 minutes ago. You might want to do something about that.
Oh no, not gum! And he runs away.
Wow.
There's security, not park operations.
But they have communications.
Oh yeah, but it's the lower management of this park is something else.
And it's leaving a great deal to be desired.
There's a big discrepancy between upper management and lower management. There's like a lot of information to get lost in transit.
Oh yes, apparently. Lady Kippershett is taking notes. Travel advisor will be informed.
Oh my god.
And leave a bad review on Yelp.
On Space Yelp. Spyelp.
Yelp.
No.
Yelp.
She doesn't use that. It's full of no.
It's full of fake
Travel
reviews.
Full of fake reviews. Only travel advisor by verified accounts. She's traveled long enough to do that.
So, you all meet up in the green room of the backstage, I figure?
Yeah. And that's the first thing she says when she walks in. She's like, Miss Finsterberg, you really need to talk to your security, park management, whoever's in charge at the lowest levels of maintaining the lowest levels, because they leave a lot to be desired.
It's like, as you come in, she's kind of like laid, lounging on like the couches nearby, is like sipping a drink, is trying to light this like massive, oversized spliff that she's like pulled out of her bag, just like, oh, right, I'll get on that.
I know some people who could call. I have an entire list right here that would happily take over basic customer service management for you. They do a fabulous job.
I could, says
Problem.
Rosemary.
Yes, Rosemary is fabulous. She has worked with fabulous people. She puts up with all of the shit from horrible people. She didn't kill any of them when they came in shooting at her.
Yeah, I got shot at like 4 days ago.
It's she is absolutely the perfect customer service representative. She would be perfect for your day-to-day operations manager.
Right.
And I would agree to live on the grounds and eat from the restaurants and have like a limited access to Spellweaver thingy.
I'll see what I can do, but I think we have some matters to discuss. Your captain tells me that you are
Oh, one moment.
mercenaries?
Rosemary.
Ooh, ooh.
Rosemary, Bella, could you do me a favor? I love how good you are at accessing information and finding things that are important.
Mhm.
Rosemary, here, let me give you, and she just kind of like takes off from her her data pad, and she sends to Rosemary the 2 pictures of the 2 elves that were assholes, and says, "Can you find me everything you want about everything I would ever want to know about them?"
Okay. Doxy, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then once she leaves, she turns to Doxy and goes, "I know that you could have done it just as well, but this way we have more private conversations."
It sounds like I've got business, but we'll resume in a little while, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
Fantasy Wars awaits.
Yeah, don't take too long.
Okay.
And she clearly winks at him. Everyone can see it when she leaves the room.
Doxy's like kind of admonished, like,
Doxy, you sly dog.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And no, Miss Finsterberg, we're not mercenaries.
Seems as your captain said he was
Oh,
a
no.
professional ass kicker.
Oh, no,
Nah,
that
that-
would be a pilot. He's a-
That-
Pilot said he was a.
He's a bodyguard and a former naval officer. By definition, that's a professional ass kicker. Our captain is a lawyer, and I'm a doctor.
professional
We-
problem solver, lawyer,
We are a
collector
group.
of experts.
We are a group of many skills.
Why don't we go to Fantasy Wars and talk later?
Can I roll insight on her?
I
Sure.
would like to do the same, actually.
Sure.
Sure.
No, that thing doesn't come into play on this one. So it's a 15.
12.
So what are you trying to insight? What,
Trying to understand. Go ahead. I'll let you go.
Yeah, because you asked us here to talk about something, and then you're like, "No, let's go to Fantasy Wars." It's like, are you actually wanting our help, or are you just bullshitting us?
No.
you do think she wants your help. She's being friendly, but you think that she's hiding something? And is probably planning something for y'all, but you don't know if it's bad or good.
Okay. Simon, with my visor, in aura sight, do I see anything invisible or anything magical on Fins?
Do you have anything magical, Fins?
The only magical thing is the odd little servitor.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, no, you are more geared up than she is, and
Well,
more
I look-
regularly affected by spells
Fair enough.
than Finch is.
I look completely mundane, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you're in reality in your briefs all the time with holographic
Yeah.
clothes on.
Yep, pretty much. Well, I have like actual clothes, but they change all the time. Yeah. Well, then I suppose Fantasy Wars. Does that mean Rosemary comes?
Yes, she should be just outside.
She probably is done at this point.
Well, not in 5 minutes, but she can keep looking. But Fantasy
Okay.
Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's
It
go.
looks like it was quick.
1 sec, and she like downs her drink, and then like takes a huge draft. Okay, I'm good. Let's go.
Is that normal practice for CEOs of companies?
In my experience.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
you watch any
You'd be
TV?
surprised. Oh, you want some?
No, thanks.
I apologize, Miss Finsterberg. His system is not adjusted to it. I wouldn't recommend it.
All right. Well, okay. I'll just keep this.
Zred will ask its ghost to kind of look around at the telepathic urgings of Kevichet to see what it can find out. If there's anything suspicious going on in the Fantasy Wars, and then also if there's anything around, like any hidden watchers or that kind of thing.
Is there anything... Has anyone tampered with Fantasy Wars, Fins?
No, but as you guys are kind of moving along, you notice that there are smaller cameras than the servitors that are following Fins around.
Mm. Doxy would probably be
Razzie.
aware of the technology.
You see them hidden in like little like trees and bushes, stuff. So
What would Doxy know of these cameras?
you would know that these types of cameras are used in kind of like corporate espionage.
Mhm.
They're meant to track people of a certain heat signature. And based on the amount, you think that there's been a lot of money put into this.
I see. I want to say that surreptitiously, Doxy would probably have Loxy perform several actions, in particular, data actions, making sure that the recordings are limited to what we would want. So I would have Loxy kind of have running a continuous program to essentially prevent anything that we didn't want to be seen
Mm-hmm.
from captured.
Um,
Kind of
It's-
like real-time editing.
Gotcha. It's interesting. Loxy sends back to you that like the cameras don't pick up anything that you guys do. It's only focused on Fins for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah. Fins is always at the center of the focus of these cameras.
Am I getting an idea that like this is something that Fins uses to keep an eye on her? Or
she doesn't seem to be aware of these cameras at the moment.
okay, so these are things that are
Spying
So-
on her.
they're spying on her.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do is create falsified video of what's basically been going on, but make it seem like we're going somewhere completely different.
Okay.
and so the network of cameras is no longer following the real Finns, but a figment that Loxy is now essentially creating in a virtual space.
And before Doxy has Loxy do this, Kevin just reaches her hand down and pats his shoulder. It's like, I'm sure you'll guide everyone on the right path to what you need, aren't we, Doxy?
At all times. At all times. And
and so you get guidance on top of that.
subtle, Deidre. All right. So
the moment I hear the word guide or something, I know what's going on.
Love your clay.
Okay. So with Loxy, my base is a 10 for data. No, wait. It's my
efficiency
data
plus intel.
No, it's my data skill plus my intelligence modifier. So it's actually an 11.
Okay.
My base is 11. So whatever I get.
Add your D4.
Right. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so it's going to be an 11 plus a D4.
Wait, how's your base 11 plus an 11? You can't roll a 0.
No. So it's, I don't know how this works. Justin,
yeah, okay,
maybe...
so if you roll below an 11, it becomes an 11.
Right.
Oh.
Right, so it's kind of like, what is it called? The rogue skill. Reliable talent.
Reliable talent.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm just rolling shit right now. Okay, so I rolled a 1, so 12.
So what happens is you try to send the cameras away. And everyone can see the cameras start to move out of their hiding spots. But then they refocus on Finns and they go back to what they were. So you couldn't get them to track something else than her perfect heat signature. Okay. You couldn't replicate it perfectly enough for them. But it does mean that everyone, Finns included, saw this like cloud of tiny cameras, like nano cameras, move, shift, and then get back.
So that problem you had, does that have something to do with those?
Well, I was gonna say if there was a way for me to actually type out, not talk, a message, and that pops up on anyone's data pads, or if they have any implants or anything like that.
Finns, do you have an implant or a data pad?
I have it in my my sunglasses.
Okay, so you would see it.
Yeah, you would see a message saying, "We are being watched." I attempted to divert. But the system is complex.
Kind of see a message pop back. You kind of see her sigh, and then the message pops back. I had expected as much. It looks like Fantasy Wars is going to have to wait. I think we need to go to a meeting place. Follow me.
And I would imagine Finns would just start directing us in a different direction, and whoever's paying attention to notepads would see that, or to their data stream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I would also type out a message to Zendak and say, and kind of like specifically to Zendak. Send them a snippet of data, kind of a data stream, giving an idea of the systems involved with these. Like, I would imagine it's some sort of AI that's essentially controlling the watching momentum or the watching pattern of these cameras. And so I would be like, I could, and then ask, assist, please.
Okay, and I'm going to use the help action to assist him.
And if you would allow it, Simon, I'll try again. maybe with a higher DC or something like that.
And I'm going to use a Bardic Inspiration. Doxy's going to send you. I've written my own code, but I'm not very good. Hopefully this helps. And sends you a Bardic Inspiration D8 on this.
I'd say you can't do the same thing, the exact same thing.
Sure, I can call something different.
But yeah, you could, for example, deactivate them temporarily. Give yourselves time to move away.
What I'll do instead is I will actually have something. Remember that episode of Black Mirror where they had like these visions, and if anyone that was like you could mute someone or like say that like, oh, I don't want them to be there anymore, and like they would just become this like blur. I would essentially do that where they can no longer. What's that?
I encode. I send you code of the nondescript spell, essentially, like because I have the ritual nondescript, which makes the caster look,
perfect,
completely nondescript.
Yeah,
that's how you assist. Awesome, I love it. So
all right,
yeah. So basically, there's this outline of nothing, and it's just the void. The void is there, and on top of that, they can no longer hear. So the cameras cannot hear. They cannot see. Like, we are just gone.
All right, make your check. I suppose with guidance too. So
She
guidance, bardic inspiration. So a D4, a D8, and advantage.
Oh my gosh! All right, if I do not get this, I'm gonna be so mad.
The DC is going to be 45.
Well,
no. Okay, so. All right, already pretty darn good. Okay, so that's a 7 plus 17 plus another 7.
So 14 plus 17?
Yeah.
No,
31.
31.
Yeah. The cameras just turn around and go film something else.
This is what I do with all this assistance. It's so much awesome.
And you are left to your own devices.
And then I type out a message saying, "It has been taken care of."
So
you hear a "fuck yeah," just kind of.
Lady Fins.
Wait, Captain. Are we in the middle of the street? I think we should be somewhere else.
She's gonna.
Because we want to have this conversation in some place entirely private where no one could ever actually overhear us. Period. Full stop. There's one location we can do that in.
That's a good point. Come with me, and she like goes between like two buildings to this nondescript wall. So it's like, so the employees and the character actors use these, and she like types into the wall, ding, 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 and you see lights pop up. It's like, and the wall kind of moves, and you see a teleporter pad right in there. It's like, we use these to get around pretty quickly. I ask that you don't tell anyone about these. And she like gets on to the pad. It's like, well, come on.
Oh, that's one way of doing it.
Let's step on.
This way.
And you are.
And she
whisked
keys
away.
on a few codes. You all show up in this penthouse suite that overlooks the park itself. It is what you would expect of a very wealthy person. There's like 3 stories of just pure glass walls and floors with designer paintings. There is a large kind of hard light fireplace to one side. You see that part of the first floor is this zero gravity pool that's just kind of suspended. You can see various servos just kind of going around keeping it in place. You see that there's like a full bar, and you see a number of droids approach you all. It's like, welcome back, Lady Finn. Can we get you and your friends anything?
Not at the moment, although possibly. Doxy, darling,
Yes.
do your magic.
Wait, what?
She wants
The droids.
she wants an entire sweep of this entire place.
Oh, I see.
I mean, we've already established.
Doxy would remember that, but Eddie, the player, did not.
Yeah, without even a check, you guys are in private.
You see them like.
What you see is like a hard light, essentially sweep. Like it's actually like a physical light that goes across the entire space, and anything that was recording or doing any kind of snooping is off.
And as soon as you do that, you see her like completely just relax, and she just moves over to the bar. It's like, thank fucking gods. So tired of having to put on this fucking act. All right. Ugh. She like scrambles onto a chair and like takes a drink.
So this problem you got, I'm assuming it's surveillance related?
Yes. I suppose I owe you all a explanation. So you know about Fisterberg Enterprises, I suppose?
Yeah, here and Pleasure One as well.
Mm-hmm. So I have a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a backstory, I suppose. So I'm here on contract. I wouldn't be here unless I would. The company is what decided to make this park. I never liked the idea of this kind of gaudy shrine to the company. That wasn't what my mom was about. And I've been bought out. I've been essentially kicked out. This is my last bit of contract.
So, who purchased you?
My wife.
Naturally, that's how it happens. You put a ring on it, and they take half of everything, and then they take everything, right?
Kind of takes the drink, swirls it, and sips on it. Yeah.
Sorry, poor taste.
No, it's fine. She's a bitch. Not to get into it, but she wasn't who I thought she was.
People often have two faces. So, your wife bought you out. You're stuck in a contract here. Well, it's almost up. So, what exactly do you want from a lawyer and his very talented crew of supporters?
This company was made by my mother. She was always a storyteller. She wanted to make and you can see like she's starting to tear up. You get the sense that she's been like holding this back for a while, given her station. She always taught me that it doesn't matter where you tell the stories or how it's that you tell them. Of course, we went public a couple decades back, and since then the board has been slowly turning everything into something that they can make into a cash grab. The loot boxes, for one. The ride fees, the merchandising, the toys, the re-releases from the vaults, just like remakes of old stories that aren't even 5 years done. I want to get back at them, and I want your help.
Well, you want to get back at them? What did you have in mind for revenge?
I need a distraction.
We can do that. I can throw so many legal injunctions at them. Even with the army of lawyers, they won't know what hit them.
I have an idea about that, Captain.
Before we get into that, you all seem very technologically savvy.
Oh, no, not me. That would be just him. And
I need someone to get into my personal accounts. I've been frozen out since they were co-joined with my wife. 5 trillion credits are sitting there and I can't access them.
How much?
How legally
5 trillion.
do you want this money obtained?
I don't want this money. I want... If you can get access to these accounts, I want you... And I've made some code that she's going to turn on her servitor, and there's going to be like a whole like hard light painting that like shows this code. It's like this will send all that money to every small business, every charity, every single place that needs money to tell their stories.
So that sounds really sweet. I like the idea. There's
Plus,
one.
I want to see what that bitch's face looks like at the party once she sees that all of the work she's done will be for naught. So
well, I have a very good idea for a distraction, Captain.
We're going to get to that. I just have one concern about this code. Now, from what I've heard about the Fisterberg lawyers, if it's even half true, if the money leaves that account in any way that isn't legal and is able to be traced back to literally anyone, those lawyers are going to be so far up every single person's ass. By the time that they have a chance to even look at the money, they'll already be having the hands in the back, and probably with interest too.
I thought about that. And here's the thing. I'm going to make an announcement that as part of this grand ceremony that Fisterberg Enterprises will be giving this money away. And I'm going to, in this code, every cent, every credit will be untraceable back to us. So there's no way that they can get to it. I just need you all to keep the security away from me while this goes on.
Yeah, I can do that. So you had an idea for a distraction?
Yes,
I need muscle and I need brains.
Well, we'll definitely provide that, and we'll provide a doctor to make sure your life is good. But Captain, no, actually, I have an idea of your distraction. How would you like to sue Fisterberg Enterprises?
Well, that's what I was thinking,
for libel and slander.
Oh, I'd be open to this.
Misrepresentation. I'm pretty sure we can get some religion, possibly some, what is it? Religious impediment. What is it actually called? I always bother.
Well, yeah, when you prevent someone from practicing their religion.
Discrimination. Religious discrimination.
Yeah,
That's the one. There it is.
Mm-hmm. So,
I would say, Loxy, take notes, and then and begin compiling a asset list of all information related to these facts.
So, do you have a specific example in mind? I mean, I'm sure I can find something. Some of the films were...
Miss Finsterberg, would you like to explain? Apparently you have an extraction here about a lady of House Katesh.
Yes. That was one of my mother's unfinished works. she had wanted to do something wonderful with that. It was supposed to be this kind of empowering story, but they turned the main character into the villain. So
Not surprised. You are aware that there is no House Katesh in any of the Avara Holy Lands, correct?
Simon, is there?
Yeah, you would know that your mother changed the name. The original person was called, and she knew that name. So just to make sure that I get my facts straight, House Katesh does exist, though.
No, it doesn't.
No, Katesh was the name of the person. It's the name of the house that I forgot. But yes, Lady Katesh is the real name.
I know that it was supposed to be Lady Katesh. It's based off
Yes.
an old friend of my mother's.
Yes. Lady Katesh of House Naken. Daughter of House Naken. She's well known in certain circles.
I want to insight check to see if that's you.
Go right
Go right
ahead.
ahead.
And while you roll your insight check, though, we're just going to quickly spin the wheel. Thanks to our donation.
It's going to be a 16.
All right,
Loot.
a 16.
Loot.
A curse. Yes.
Oh.
So I get advantage to use whenever I see fit on something.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not gonna end well.
So what was your insight check? Kayla?
Is this someone from that house?
What's your result?
A 16, sorry.
16. She speaks with a certain familiarity. If it's not her, it's someone that she knew.
Gotcha. And do I know if this house is bad or good aligned? It's the reputation.
Well, you would know from your mother's story that the rebel Lady Katesh went against everything that her family stood for. And it's a story of, personal choice over doctrine and tradition.
So, of course, I'd have to talk to the lady to file suit for Kebashet.
Yes, I can put you in contact. I can introduce you to Lady Katesh of House Naken.
You know,
It will be a lot difficult, and we're not going to have that conversation. I'm not going to put any of that information in any public place. Not that I don't trust you, Doxy, but certain people want her dead.
I understand.
and
And
are we
really-
talking
You know
about
how I am
a
with sensitive
friend, or are we
information.
talking about a friend?
I take that very seriously.
I'm sorry, Zendak, did you say something?
Yeah, I said, are we talking about a friend or are we talking about a friend?
I do not understand the distinction here. She's
You
a
know,
friend.
when someone says, I have a friend and they have a problem, and they don't always mean actual friends.
Oh, you mean my other employment? No, this is no.
No.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. No, this is not about that. No. I am very familiar with that phrasing. It's one I've heard very frequently. No, Lady Katesh is someone that I am familiar with. We both practice in the same circles. We both have the same religious beliefs. She's a icon in certain circles. Rather surprised that your mother was going to write about her. That's odd, but not quite surprising. However, I would not be suing you or your mother. We'd be filing suit against the enterprises themselves. And considering that I can introduce you, but it would require certain levels of protection being guaranteed, you'd be aware, Miss Finsterberg, that there are still people who really want her dead.
Well, if you can get me a meeting with her, I mean, we don't even have to do this on planet. As long as I can have communication with her, I can file suit for her. I can always, thanks to the loveliness of galactic law and corporations being identified as an entity within themselves, separate from their owners, I can keep the company without putting our lovely Lady Fence here at risk of any legal liability.
Of course. We'll do that on the ship. I think, not that we don't trust you, Ms. Finsterberg, you do understand that.
And
I understand completely. I was gonna do this myself, but if I have help,
Of course, we'll certainly help you, but
and you'll be compensated too. So some of that money will, of course, go straight to your ship, encrypted,
well,
of course.
probably not straight to our ship.
Of course
Roxy's
not.
better at cleaning things than that.
And I'm assuming you're going through a rather difficult divorce right now, Lady Finns.
I signed the paperwork this morning.
Oh, have you turned it in yet? I hope not.
No, I was going to. I was going to hand it over to my wife when I saw her this evening.
Well, I assume that those papers have certain agreements tied on them. What if I was able to improve those agreements for you?
Are these papers or data pads?
they're data.
Yeah, it's data pad.
I mean,
I
we
don't know
still
if you
use
can-
the old analog term of paper, but
I
Fair enough.
I don't know if you can get that through because of all the lawyers she has at her beck and call, but you can
And-
certainly try.
I would absolutely love to try. I mean, I assume that you're at a bit of a disadvantage with all your accounts being frozen. It might have been difficult for you to find your own lawyer. I would be happy to do this pro bono.
Thank you.
Very generous of you.
so how do you go about doing all this?
I immediately slap them with millions of injunctions. Most of them are junk and would be dismissed very quickly. However, it's time that they have to go through to deal with them so that they can't be prepared for the actual, or they can't be as prepared for the actual legal suits that I'm putting forth, which is the, suing against slander against Kevishit's friend, and also digging back up the marriage agreements.
All right.
So essentially, I'm trying to use all these injunctions to, like, they've got this army of lawyers. Well, now they're having to spread out this army of lawyers between all of these junk injunctions, which they have to deal with, even if they are junk. So that I'm, playing on a more even field where I can, I'm facing off against
Only
maybe
one
one
lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your boss fighting their lawyers. But that we're gonna have to do that next week, as we are going slightly overboard tonight. But that'll give you a week to prepare. How are you gonna keep people off of Finn's back while she gives her big address? And what are you gonna do to drain the account and get the money away? And also, how are you gonna deal with the following scene? As high above Paradise 1, a ship comes out of the void. It is unlike any other ship that have been seen before. This ship is half metal, half flesh, with horns and fins, and tiny pods that light up the black of space with a reddish, eerie light. At the prow of the ship, where you would normally have maybe a cockpit or something, it opens up into these like 4 clawed tentacles. And the voice again says, "We have found you."
So we're getting off planet, right? We're not staying here.
I don't know, but you're gonna have to deal with that too.
I mean, it'll provide a wonderful distraction, darling. That's what you needed, correct? People running
This-
in panic is a great distraction.
Zred doesn't recognize that, or does recognize that?
Zred would... So you guys don't see this happening, but the moment it happens, Zred would get a massive headache. Coming from somewhere, beneath the brain.
Doxy would probably have pulled up like screens as soon as that voice came again to like kind of get and point any kind of visual sensors or things up at the sky.
I'll give you I'll put the picture of the visual up on the Roll20, but let's just do outros in the meantime.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're heading out.
Yeah. But at least you'll have the visuals for next week, and then next week, come back next week. We're going to deal with whatever happens to Finn's Fisterberg, and then potentially that. I don't know. We don't know. We have a lot of things to do for the finale. So let's just do outros, and let's start with our guest this week. Thank you so much for coming over, Kayla. It was fantastic to have you this week.
No worries, I had a whole bunch of fun. Thanks so much for having me. The cast is wonderful. It's awesome.
It was so much fun. I love Finn so much.
Yep, she's awesome, and I'm pretty sure she's going to come back later.
Yeah, I hope so. But you can find me on twitter.com, Koros RPG. I talk about game design, talk about RPGs and fantasy stuff, and I run a game on Sundays on the Soul Bear RPG Twitch channel called the Shattered Eye, which is a sword and sorcery Roman myth-inspired game, which I run for Deirdre, Simon, and Kika Vio, and Chris Greer, and you should definitely check it out at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays.
Because there's always giveaways.
Mm-hmm. There's giveaways at each break of a Mage Hand Press, which is our sponsor, of a free PDF, which is different each week. So if you're interested in getting some free stuff, come check that out.
Very cool.
Cool. And now let's go and outros our crew. We'll start with, I think, the ship of this episode, Doxy.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm Eddie Freeman. You can find me on the Twitters and all that kind of stuff at Pixel Pirate with the first E being a 3. I talk about RPGs most of the time on the Twitters. I travel a lot, so you can follow me there and see my adventures. And I've got some things coming down the pipeline in the next couple of months. Hopefully start putting some of my stuff out there so you guys can all enjoy it as I'm a writer in my spare time. So, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Eddard or Edmund today.
Yes. Name changed. Thankfully didn't come up, so I couldn't flub this up and just say the wrong name.
Hey, don't worry, I set it up for you.
Yes. You can follow me on Twitter if you so desire at the Gambit, _Gambit, and I shall see you all next Monday for Dark Matter.
All right. And how about our resident lawyer and ship captain?
Hi, I'm Justin. I work with Mage Hand Press as the community relations manager, and I have a whole lot of fun playing this setting. You know, it turns out being involved with the project, you might find it a little fun to play. You can find us at magehandpress.com, where our books are on drivethrurpg.com. You can join us on our Patreon for $3 a month and get everything except for Dark Matter that we've written for $3 a month.
And we'll move on to the other side of the table to Lady Kebichet.
Hello, all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Praxagora Thesmiophoria, as you see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. But You will not see me on Saturday as we are off this week for Go West, but we will be back next Saturday on the 30th for the finale as we drive some fine folk mad through some Western Pulp Cthulhu. On Sunday, you can find me on Katie Face's channel playing some Honey Heist shenanigans. That is always a great laugh. If you need one, I firmly recommend it. Just check out the VODs. It's hilarious. You, again, like Kayla said, you can find me playing Alienor, my wonderful Fae Bard, over on Shattered Eye every Sunday, and then back here as Simon runs some wonderful space D&D, and there will probably be other things coming in the near future. Check out my Twitter, is where I always post about what's going on. Also, want to thank everyone that got it, maybe if you thinking about it. The Uncaged Anthology spent almost a week at the top of the DMs Guild most popular. We're still number 2. It went gold in its first 24 hours, and we're like 100 units away from platinum. So we really appreciate it. We really appreciate the support for this project. Thank you very much.
And last but not least, the star of Radiant and Ravager.
You're killing me. That was such a beautiful scene, and I want to thank you for that, Kayla. That was great. But I'm Rochelle. I'm on Twitter at Pashka_D. The biggest other thing that I have going on in my life besides this every Monday is I have a game on Kickstarter right now. It's a zine. It's called Dino Wranglers. It's a narrative science fantasy game for families about overcoming obstacles as a dinosaur wrangler. Right now, we just got past 1,700, and we are 350% funded, so that's great.
Yay!
Check it out. If you have any questions, just hit me up. So, thanks everybody for your support.
Cool. And I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for hanging out in chat. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. Thanks for all the enormous donations that we've received today. And thank you, players, and thank you, Kayla, for playing in the game. And we will see you next week for the Season 1 finale of Dark Matter.
Are we rating?
We have to rate.
We do.
Good
Thanks
Lord,
for
I forgot again.
What about Tales from the Grim? Or Scrat? Ooh, we got 2 good choices.
Yeah, we rated Tales from the Grim last time, so let's go and rate Scrat instead.
I'm always down.
Good choice.
Yep. Thanks for reminding me. I have to keep a post-it on my computer screen. Really.
Did you not make the post-it that I told you to make?
I have the post-it. I just didn't write it on it. That's the type of person I am.
Oh, that's so Simon. On brand.
I.
Does it do anything in particular when you raid? Does it like boost, aside from boosting the numbers, does it like work with the algorithm or of some sort?
No, it's just
No,
nice
it's
to give people,
a good thing to do.
Yeah.
It's also good manners.
Mm-hmm.
Because then people can discover other games.
Do we want to have a raid cry?
Let's go with the Docs Mary.
Docs Mary.
Oh
Docs
my
Mary.
God.
So let's go. Docs Mary OTP. So we all know that we're not saying people to dox a girl called Mary. Docs Mary OTP. All right. Ciao, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.